The Odyssey is an epic poem written by the ancient Greek author Homer. It tells the story of the Greek hero Odysseus and his 10-year journey home after the Trojan War. The poem is made up of 24 books, and it is one of the most important pieces of Western writing. It looks at things like what it means to be a hero, how powerful temptation can be, and how important trust and family are. The poem starts with the story of Telemachus, Odysseus' son, who lives in the house of his father in Ithaca. Odysseus has been fighting in the Trojan War for 10 years, so his son Telemachus has grown up without him. He doesn't like how the suitors have taken over his father's house and are eating his food, drinking his wine, and wooing his mother, Penelope. Telemachus goes on a trip to learn more about his father and to show that he is in charge of the house. Odysseus, on the other hand, is stuck on the island of Ogygia and is being held prisoner by the goddess Calypso. He wants to go home to his wife and son, but the gods have other plans for him. They decide to send Hermes to tell Calypso that she has to let Odysseus go. Odysseus gets on a raft to go back home after Calypso agrees. Poseidon, the god of the sea, is angry with Odysseus because he blinded Polyphemus, a cyclope who was his son. Odysseus has to swim to the island of the Phaeacians because Poseidon sends a storm that destroys his raft. There, Princess Nausicaa helps him, and they go to the court of King Alcinous. King Alcinous listens to his story and offers to help him get back home. Odysseus tells the Phaeacians about his trip, including his meetings with the Cyclops, Circe, and the land of the dead. He also tells them about how hard it was for him to avoid the Siren's charms and the dangers of the sea. After hearing his story, the Phaeacians feel sorry for him and offer to give him a ship to take him home. Odysseus dresses up as a beggar when he gets home and goes into his own house, where he meets the men who have been wooing his wife. He gets help from his son Telemachus and his faithful helper Euryclea, who can see through his disguise and help him. Odysseus kills all of the suitors in a fierce fight and takes back his place as king of Ithaca. The Odyssey is a long, complicated book that looks at what it means to be a hero. Odysseus is a hero because he is a fighter, a leader, and he has lived through a lot. He is also a hero because he is faithful to his family and country. He is not a perfect hero, though. He has flaws and makes mistakes, like how he treated Polyphemus the Cyclops. His trip home isn't just a physical one, it's also a mental and emotional one. To become a real hero, he must learn to get past his own flaws and desires. The power of temptation is also looked at in the book. Odysseus faces many temptations on his trip, like the Sirens, who sing beautiful songs that sailors follow to their deaths. Odysseus refuses to give in by telling his men to put wax in their ears and tie him to the ship's mast. Odysseus also doesn't give in to Circe, the witch goddess who turns his men into pigs. Odysseus is able to fight Circe's charms with the help of the god Hermes. He finally gets Circe to turn his men back into humans. The Odyssey also shows how important family and loyalty are. Odysseus stays true to his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus throughout his trip. His love for them is what makes him want to get back home. In the same way, Telemachus goes on a trip to find out more about his father and show that he is in charge of the palace because he loves his family and wants to protect their legacy. Euryclea, Odysseus's loyal servant, is also an important part of the story. She sees through Odysseus's disguise and helps him fight off the rivals. In addition to these ideas, the Odyssey looks at how the gods affect human life. Odysseus's trip is influenced by the gods, who both help and hurt him along the way. Odysseus is helped by the god Athena, who makes him look like a beggar and gives him strength in fight. Poseidon, however, is angry that Odysseus blinded his son, so he tries to stop him from going home. The Odyssey is a classic work of writing, art, and film that will never go out of style. It is a piece of writing that still speaks to people today because it deals with universal ideas like courage, temptation, loyalty, and family. The poem is a reminder of how important it is to stay true to yourself and your ideals, even when things are hard, and how important it is to keep going through hard times in order to reach your goals.